everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but I'm back. For those of you that are new, my name is Alex and this is Life's a Peach, where I talk about a whole bunch of different stuff and do a bunch of different stuff. So please click that subscribe button if you'd like to see more of my videos, and give me a little lights up if you like this video. By the way, that's my cat Oreo. She's just gonna hang out here with us while we do this. Alright, so it has been a while since I posted a video, and for good reason. I've been going through a bit of a situation where I have found out that I have an eating disorder, and that eating disorder is a binge eating disorder. So going on my last video, my last update video, I'll link it here for you. I spoke about, how I fell off the wagon and how I was getting back on track. But after that, it kind of seemed that everything was just becoming so much harder. Everything was going downhill, and everything just felt like it was just out of my hands. I couldn't control anything that was going on in my life. And I think when I realized that I actually had a problem was when I lied to my two best friends. I don't ever lie to them. I'm very open and honest with them. One night we were having dinner and I was obviously just feeling shitty, wanted to be alone. I was going through a lot of stuff at the time, and we left. So I said I wanted to leave early, and they decided to leave as well, and they kept saying, can we come to your house and have a hubbly, we call it shisha hubbly, whatever you want to call it. And I said to them I was feeling tired and I kind of just wanted to be alone, and we kind of left at the same time in two different cars. And the way that we were both supposed to go towards our homes, I didn't. I went that way, and I went to the petrol station, the service station, and I bought a huge amount of food. And after that I texted my friend saying, please don't think that I'm being weird or anything, or I was going somewhere else. I just went to go buy cat food. So that was a bit fucked up, and I didn't feel good about that, and there was just something in me that said, you actually need to figure out what's going on right now. So this video is about my binge eating disorder, what it is, the signs of it, and the treatment that I'm going through to kind of fix this thing that I have. So I just want to quickly read you guys the definition of a binge eating disorder. So binge eating disorder, BED, is commonly known by compulsive overeating or consuming abnormal amounts of food while feeling unable to stop and at a loss of control. Binge eating episodes are typically classified as occurring on average a minimum of twice a week for a duration of 6 months. I was definitely, every single weekend, every time I went home alone, every time I finished work and felt the sense of relief, I came back to my house, bought a whole bunch of food on a Friday or a Saturday, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm feeling shit, I'm having a bad day, I've had a rough week, it's fine, I'll start on Monday. And it just became more and more of a thing. I found like every time I was leaving a friend's house or going out after eating or whatever, I would go like to McDonald's and get Oreo McFlurries, and I was just constantly eating, like I could not stop. And I think that I've always had this problem, but it's only come to light now because it's been, I'm living alone and it's more excessive than anything else it's ever been before. I mean, I would have this problem where I'd buy this food and it would be not just like, I'm not talking about like, a chocolate bar or anything. I'm talking about slabs of chocolates. I'm talking about bags of cookies. I'm talking about all this shit food that has high carbohydrates and high sugars in it that I was filling myself with. And I actually got to a point where I was so full that I was literally force feeding myself. I was so uncomfortable. I couldn't walk, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't lie. Like I was lying like a pregnant woman on my damn bed. And it was just so, because basically what happens is after you have a binge, there's a cycle. First of all, you have this immense craving for high carbohydrates, high sugar foods. Then you binge, then you feel so unbelievably guilty for binging, you feel ashamed of yourself, and then you try diet and get everything sorted again, and it just keeps on going. There's just this endless cycle of self-sabotage that happens. For me, I have this problem with, like, if you give me a bar of chocolate or a packet of cookies or whatever, I won't be able to just have one a day or one every 2 days or whatever. I literally full on clean, polish everything that's been on my plate, because as a child I was taught that I'm not going to leave the table if I don't finish my food, and 2, I finish absolutely everything that is in that packet to get rid of it, to hide it, to not feel ashamed about it anymore, which just makes me feel more ashamed in turn. And I did a bit of research and found out that basically subliminally you have a part in your brain that when you do this dieting thing for a number of months or years, so you go on these extreme diets after having all this high calorie food like hamburgers and chocolates and everything, and as soon as you stop having that food, your body is like, what the fuck, where's all the carbs at, where's the sugar at, we're in a bit of a situation here, it's a drought in my tummy. And it sends a little message to this part of the brain, and then this part of the brain subconsciously tries to tell you to eat, basically. It's not the actual physical part of like picking up the can of Coke and drinking it, that's conscious, but it's like putting pictures in your head, it's telling you food, 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 food the whole time, and that's something that has been ingrained in my thinking. And you know, I was very lucky to find out this before it became, you know, such a huge problem. Obviously I've put on a lot of weight since my first weight loss video, but there are a huge bunch of consequences that come with this eating disorder. You know, people don't think that it's really an eating disorder because, you know, it's not like bulimia where you're harming yourself, you're not throwing the food up afterwards, or you're not anorexic and not having any food at all. It's really dangerous because it can cause things like cardiovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes, insomnia and sleep apnea, hypertension, which is like high blood pressure, and also gallbladder disease. You know, and the list can go on and on and on. So it is really dangerous, and it is something that, you know, needs to be brought to attention. It was the highest, most counted for eating disorder in the States, with anorexia and bulimia combined together. And it's becoming quite a huge problem in the States and in the world. You know, with that being said, there is a process of treatment, and it's not easy. I'm literally at the beginning phase of getting this stuff sorted out. You can see a nutritionist, a psychologist, psychiatrist, a therapist. You know, you need professional help, because at the end of the day, those are going to get to the root of the problem, why you are binge eating. You know, stuff that's happened when you were a kid that you probably don't even know is affecting you now, stuff that you've buried away for so long. And it also helps healing from the emotional triggers that cause you to have this type of behavior, and to deal with the stress, anxiety and depression. So in turn, when you fix that stress, anxiety and depression, you don't use the food to make you feel better. So I was doing a bit of research and I found out that there were quite a bunch of different resources as to how to help you. I'm just going to read them out for you. So the first one was CBT, which is Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, and that's understanding what influences your behavior and your triggers. And then there's Interpersonal Therapy, which is finding out the relationships and how they affect you and how you see yourself. And then there's Mindfulness, which is what my psychiatrist recommended to me. In a nutshell, it's about being conscious and aware of how you're feeling, your emotions, just basically your awareness of oneself. So yeah, those were, you know, the things that I found when I researched. And I just want to say that, you know, if you have ever had this problem, like, you are not the only person. There are so many people out there that have this problem and are dealing with it on a daily basis and are beating themselves up left, right and center and just going through this horrible cycle continuously. And I just got to a point now where I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm 25 next year, and I saw myself, you know, being my best version of myself in my 20s, because you know, when is the other better time, you know? So last year I was taking a stimulant which basically was helping with all the serotonin and the motivation and everything, and as soon as I stopped taking that, I found out that everything went downhill. So with that being said, I am on the road to recovery. And I was on Twitter the other day and I read a very touching tweet, and you know, I was in a state last year, if you watch my previous video, I was just so into self-love and my self-worth and investing in it. And basically what she said keeping your word to yourself is a form of self-love. And I found that so powerful, because I didn't make my promise to myself. I knew that if I said to my friends or my parents, you know what, oh fuck, I'm so tired of this, I need to start on Monday, I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to keep my word to myself. I knew that I was going to binge the next weekend or the next couple of days time. So I feel like now I've made a promise to myself, and you know, I'm keeping my word to myself for myself, to invest in myself and love myself again, and find out, you know, everything that's good about me and what I have to offer and share. And you know, it's quite cool because I was doing research and I came across this video about this guy's first-hand perspective on what binge eating is really like. And basically, you know, at the beginning of the video, there's this Navajo grandfather that tells his grandson that inside of him there are two wolves. One is filled with greed, anger, jealousy, and regret. And in the other wolf, he was full of joy and greatness and compassion for the world. And the little boy asked the grandfather, he said, so which one wins? And the grandfather replied, whichever one you choose to feed. And I choose to feed the good wolf in me, the good. I choose to nurture everything that's good about me instead of what's bad about me, and play the victim in situation. Yes, I do have problems, and yes, everyone has problems, but I'm not going to sit here anymore and not care about myself and not love myself, because at the end of the day, I'm the only person who genuinely can make me whole, can make me love, can make me feel happiness. And if you've been going through something like this, I really encourage you to try and get some help. I just want you to know that I'm here for you. I'm always gonna reply to your comments, to your messages, if you know you need help, or you find that you're going through exactly the same thing as me, or you have been through it in the past already and have overcome it. I would love to hear what you did to combat that thinking and that mindset. So with that being said, thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate you, and I hope you stick around. And that's about it. See you. Bye.